I'm Nina Capone, and I'm on the Untold.
We got Nina Capone in the building.
Hey, hey, hey.
What's up? What's going
What's up,
on?
Nina?
Happy to be here. Finally, I had to bombard my way in. Y'all already know.
Welcome to Untold. Welcome to Untold. Definitely did that. Definitely. I like
For
that.
sure, for sure. Y'all know y'all people. We go back.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's get right
Absolutely.
into it. Let's get
What's
right
up?
into
What's
it.
up?
You know what I mean? For those that don't know, give us a whole backdrop of your story.
Nina Capone, child prodigy. Been in the game since I can remember. 47 years, believe it or not. I come from music. Come from a sax player, pianist. This is what I do. So I know nothing but music. I love it. Been in the game probably well over 20 years or
Wow.
more. Actively in the game. Not the in the shower, John. But I have a passion for music. I have a passion for people. Never to be famous or seen, but to monetize my work
Right.
and build a legacy. So I am Nina Capone.
Oh man. So
Absolutely.
so what made you want to be a female rapper? Because we kind of had this. I'm gonna ask you. We had this debate. Well, it's not a debate. It's just a question.
Okay.
Who was the first Philadelphia female rap
Well, that's
artist?
easy. She's at my house, Lady B.
Thank you. Run me my money.
Lady B was the first female rapper to rap as an individual female rapper.
Right.
But I believe Roxanne Shante, if I'm not mistaken the name, was the first female rapper overall, but she was in a group. But we're going to get at the Lady B because Lady B is one of us.
Lady B.
Lady B.
Shout out to Lady B.
Do you feel like Lady B made a huge impact on the Philly scene for female rappers?
Of course, y'all know I do radio, right? So, of course, yeah, she definitely opened the doors up, and if you know her history, she broke things. She has a legacy over and over again, not just one but multiple. So for her to hit the stages by herself, that ain't easy today. So just imagine back then where women weren't prominent in this field. So
Right, and back then it wasn't a cool thing to call yourself a rapper.
No, you wasn't a rapper. I was an MC.
MC.
I got some bars. I spit, whatever.
Right.
But you wasn't just out here like, oh, I'm gonna be a rapper. So I think she knocked the door down because
Right. So did she play? Was she an instrumental part into you becoming a female rapper?
Absolutely. So she's she's a friend of my mom and dad. My mom and dad is heavy in the game. So being around music my entire life. I grew up in Logan. My basement was the rehearsal hall. So y'all know
Right.
everybody came there. I'm related to Billy Paul and all these people. So all these people in the basement. You know what I'm saying? So growing up around that, and then we went into the era of hip hop. My aunts and uncles, the Lady B's, and all of them. Y'all know what they look like in that era, right? So you smelling the weed and all that.
Yeah.
You like, I'm a rap. I'm gonna go downstairs and rap. I got 6 bars, so that was the energy that I grew up around. Artists, real hip hop artists, skills, battle rap, all of that, and that is my influence. I don't have any other. I don't, the outside getting to know other rappers and stuff. I didn't know. I knew right here Philly hip hop all day.
Was you a part of the battle rap scene?
Yeah, I was a battle rapper. That's why I go so hard, y'all. I can't help myself. You never lose that. So even though I was a songwriter, I started out battle rapping, because, what I was around, that was the era, that bebop era. We battle rap. We talk trash,
Right.
We from the street. I got to come at everybody. I still do probably, but, I try to do it nicely now. So.
Now, who did you battle?
Back in the day, it was like a lot of people out, but none of them exist now. So I don't know. You can't even name drop these people no more. They all old and retired. I don't even know any. You know what? It was more cipher driven, I'm gonna say,
Right.
because we didn't really had a battle rap scene like that. We more cipher, like, all right, get in, and then you had this girl from this street and that girl from, so it was more cipher driven. I can't say like we was. Now it's kind of violent. It's like, hey, y'all choose violence. It's crazy. But far as just battling the new school battle, I've never done that. I don't think I could take it. Not at my old age. I'll sit there. I want to fight. I'm strapped. Y'all just got serious. I think it's a little too much, but I love it. I love it. I do go to the shows and enjoy them. I'm gonna say.
So your first record. How
My
was that?
first record was okay. Let me say I never went into the studio. I was on tour before I went into the studio.
Oh wow.
So I was managed by the Gamble family, Lonnie Gamble, who managed me for years. He took me on tour before he put me in a studio. So with that being said, you look at having a song. I only had one song, and that was the first one I recorded at I can't think of the name of the studio, but it was what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But he Joe the Butcher Niccolo, that's who he is. So Joe the Butcher was the first person that recorded my song. It was Ladybugs in the House, because that was my rap name.
Ladybugs.
Ladybug.
Where did you get that?
Ladybug.
Ladybug came from Lonnie Gamble. That's what he wanted to call me. I was a bit of a pain. I didn't want to be a rapper. That wasn't my thing. I wrote poetry. I was a writer. So he was like, "Bug, you going on tour with us?" I'm not going on tour with y'all old people. But it was a great showstopper to be on stage with, opening act for my mom and them. So I was their opening act, and I did that. I did one song for like 10 years. I ain't even gonna lie, it was crazy.
Wow.
That was the song I opened for everybody. Ladybug was in the house. All day.
Now, what era was that? Was that the Ram Squad Major Figure area?
92. It was
92.
1992 was a golden year, right? So yeah, I was a kid. I was about 14. Yeah, it was deep because I met all these people out. So a lot of them know me as, little Nina or little Ladybug. They don't, they see me grown now and I'm still a kid. Like, what is you talking about?
Right,
Business. So yeah, like I met everybody back then. So now to see them, everybody now was just like, they my old heads,
Now, in that era, you had the major figures, the First Lady Bianca, you had Eve,
Yep.
You had, who else? Charlie Baltimore. Did you want to join, the groups and everything?
No, I never wanted to be a part of the group. I really never had the passion to be on a scene like that. Aside from touring, the tours was fun. Of course, my family was there, so that's where we was at. So touring the world. By the time you get off a 6-month tour, you don't want to be in anything. You just want to like, where my friends at, get with them and chill out. So you're not really thinking about really, getting in any groups and things like that.
Right.
Plus I just feel like I'm not from the street rap, it's like they was all I didn't hang, I wasn't allowed to hang out. I had to go rehearse and get ready for the next tour. We did tours back to back to back until I was like 20. So when you think about it, like I knew who they were because I listened to them, but I never really got to meet none of these people, really hang out. I was just I'm an industry kid that grew up in the industry. So
How was it on the tour?
work, hard, long work, and stressful. It was really stressful. Like a lot of people look at the tour and think about just being on tour, being out there having fun. It's not fun. Not when your parents is there, because you gotta work. You gotta really make sure you master your songs. Like I said, I'm a kid who grew up in the industry. My mom knows the stage. So from vocals to breathing to dancing and knowing your set, in the back of your head, like it was work. It was a lot of work, a lot of pressure. I learned how to put all the equipment together. It wasn't I'm going to go chill out now. No, you had to go help the sound man because you need to know what the sound man do. You had to go make sure you can rep mics properly and fold chords. Like, what is this light doing? What is this for? What is this mic for? So I learned a lot. Also learned to read contracts and what they meant and how to negotiate. So for me, that was school and it was work. It was nothing fun about it. Rocking a stage, meeting somebody was like fun for the moment, but then it was back to work.
Did you fully like understand why you were there?
No, I hated it. Honestly, no, I didn't like it. I didn't want to be a rapper. I ended up suffering with panic attacks. So just being in that vibe around a lot of people, you start to get kind of claustrophobic. You like, oh my God, here come all these people. I would like really like break out in the sweats, and my mom would be like, it's time to come get you, you know. So just having those panic attacks like really kind of mess you up. And I notice a lot of people have them, but may not know what they are. But you know, being around a lot of people at one time, they grabbing and reaching for you. I don't like fame personally. I like money. I think that's what kept me
That's
going.
good.
But the fame, everybody else can have it. You know, I love my music, I love my craft, but I never wanted to be famous. And although I got popular, I always tried to shy away from the fame.
Did you participate in the DVD area? Era. We had Too Raw for the Streets. We had the beginnings of Smack DVD, Sub Zero, and in more of a DVD platforms. Did you
I
participate in
think
them?
I got on a few of them. I'm gonna say a few, maybe 2 or 3, not too many. Only because I was friends with a lot of them, was around, but a few of them. I know, was it Jermaine Quick? No, he did one. I wasn't around for the Smack era. I think I was gone by then. Um, a few of them. I'm gonna say I was on about 2 or 3 of them. I don't know. I'll be seeing a couple like, well, that's me. What in the world? But you know, so yeah, I was around for the era a little bit, but I didn't really jump into it as much as everybody else did. Let's say.
That wasn't your twist.
It wasn't. I'm literally like studio stage. I'm stage. I'm a performing artist. So if it ain't the stage, I'm like, you know.
So you experienced the childhood stardom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
And because your family was
Yeah.
heavily involved, so it was more like you got to do it because
It's work. Grandma,
it's work.
grandpa, mom, dad, aunts,
Yeah.
uncles. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
Uncle
Yeah.
Auntie, everybody's
Exactly. You know,
gotta-
we it's work. This is what our family does. It wasn't something that you can say, you know, I'm not doing music no more. I'm gonna go do this, and everybody like, well, what you gonna do?
Right.
You know. So yeah.
So how did you balance being a teenager and being an artist?
Well, I'm gonna say I worked my teenage years for the most part. And then when I stopped working, I had a baby. So,
See?
you know, for the most part, I worked. I was out here. We were doing tours. Even when I had my daughter, anybody in the Philly scene know my daughter because I had her with me. She was in the studios. She was on the songs, you know, say this, say that, you know. So I'm gonna say my teenage years was spent touring, working, doing shows, putting shows together. You know, I became more of a stage manager, producer of shows. So yeah, teenage years was still work. Nothing changed. You know, from 14 to probably now. It's still work.
Motherhood in the industry.
Was a great balance. I'm gonna say, because my mother was a momager and understood the industry, you know, I always say you the first momager for real. Having my mom with me and understanding that balance, you know, watching how she handled it, you know, and her mistakes and learning from her mistakes as well and saying, you know, I gotta do better. You know, I want to do better. So I did things a little bit differently. I kept my kids kind of away from the industry a little bit when it came down to them. Well, they didn't. I think for a little bit they said, hey, I want to get in the industry. I want to do music. They're both very talented, but that's not their thing. But you know, just still being a mom, I think spending time with your kids, and I think parenting. I never really had parenting. I grew up with my homies. So, you know, I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to parent my children. And I think, you know, that was one of the things, at the time their dad and I really put more work into than anything. We were real good friends. So we just made sure that we gave that parenthood a run, and we just really put that in because it's important. Especially when you a rapper and all they hear is you cursing and talking trash, and they like, my mom is a thug.
Today's females.
Woo.
We have this battle.
Okay.
I asked this question to numerous of people that came on this platform. Today's females, is it like before? Because let me take it back. We had Queen Latifah, Ladies First. We had Roxanne, you know what I'm saying? and they was rapping on a different level, but so direct to the females,
Right.
respectfully,
Right.
instead of exploiting themselves.
Right. Right.
Today, we are presented with rappers like Sexy Red, Big Lotto, Nicki, Cardi, and they influence the younger
Yes.
generation, especially the females.
Yes, absolutely.
What's your take on that?
Well, I'm gonna say it's kind of one of those things. The music changed. Being an artist myself and being in the industry, knowing that you had to go with what was happening now. Unfortunately, I think it was kind of what made me withdraw a lot from music at the time. And I'm grimy as they come, but I felt like my song still had a message. Tried to still insert a message in a song. Now I feel like the songs no longer have a message. Cause even if you hard, cause I'm hard, I hold back nothing. I say what I want, I say it how I want. But I feel like I still try to insert a message when I'm speaking, talking about something. You can ask me any song, I'm gonna tell you what it's about. I feel like that message delivery is now null and void. There's no more purpose to what you're saying. If you're going to talk about being a slut, talk about being a slut, but why you had to be a slut, why you became a slut, what's the purpose of it, what are you trying to do to change being a slut? You know what I mean? Now it's just like they're glorifying just ignorance, for lack of better words, and I just think that right now was just this kind of crash and burn, but I think it's going to change. I'm using the platform that I have now to kind of put the women out, like Nilam, that rap. There's a lot of females out here that rap. That's, salute to them. That's like keeping it positive. And not that I'm all positive, because I'm still dropping records, and and some of them grimy, but some of them still, they all got a message. They all got a message. So depending on who I'm talking to is how I'm gonna deliver it. But just really putting music with messages out at this point. We need that, because this stuff, these generation, I don't know what they WAP killed me. Almost died.
They missing the number one key element in this game, and that's artist development.
Yes, let's get into
What happened to that?
Well, I could tell you what happened to it. What happened to it was the finances, what it took to develop an artist costs. So when we start to think from a business side of things, you start to think about, if I'm gonna pour money into this artist and they leave, they walk away, they no longer have interest in this, then I lose interest. So what's the ROI in putting that type of time and money into an artist? So that's what happened, is saying, hey, let's find who's already polished enough to hit the stage. And that's what happened. They stopped pouring that money into them, because it's money. At the end of the day, it's all money. Everything is built around money. No matter how you shave it, it's money. It's going to end up there, right? So that's what happened to artist development. You put all this time, energy, money, training the artist. Like, I was trained to rap. I had people around me who said, okay, you're not giving us those bars. You got to get into this personality. But I knew that they was paying that guy. You know what I'm saying? They pay him to do a job. They're not doing that no more. They looking around online. This is an internet-based society we live in. You look online, you see who sound like they got it, and you be like, all right, go ahead. They don't even rehearse. Artists don't even rehearse no more. They rap over their actual songs. I almost fell out my seat at a show because they just turned the record on, and I was like, well, why I come? Why am I here? Why are we here? I could have did this at home.
And back then, just to, bring it back, we had an activist by the name of C. Dolores Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
And she fought for not just equal rights, but she fought for the explicit language that the artist displayed on records. For example, calling the woman a hoe, calling a woman a B word. Rapper Tupac, he kind of went against that.
Right.
Now today, the women glorify
absolutely
calling each other B. Not to just say it in music. I know women that
who
call
walk up and like, hey, man. It's a thing. It's a thing. Again, to put the ignorance on top of everything. We kind of take things, and I think, in the hood, we got our own lingo. We got this thing that we do where we communicate, and I think that referring to another female as a B is literally like our ebonics. It became our ebonics. It became the new lingo. Like, I always laugh at the way my youngest daughter talk versus how my oldest daughter talk. And I don't understand my youngest daughter. She's 24, but I don't know what she be talking about. But, and it's the ebonics. It's the new ebonics that now they translate different. Like, I always think she asking me a question and she just responding to me. I'll be like, what? Oh, that was okay. But my oldest would be like, Mom, she was just saying that you look cute. Oh, okay. Like, so I think it's just the ebonics now that we're just challenged with. And, like, dude, bro, I hate to be called bro, but I'm called bro often,
I don't like when a girl call me bro.
I had a debate about that myself.
Bro.
I mean, especially a female saying, yo, bro, like, wow, wait, sis.
It's
like,
deeper than, you know what I mean? It's like, wait, what? Then when your kids
Oh, yeah, my daughter called me that.
Yo, bro, why are you tripping, bro? Yeah. You just like, what?
Oh my goodness.
Like, I'm gonna fight you. Like,
you want to fight. You want to fight. But I think that is this lingo, and as we get older, we realize how much we irritated our parents, and the train goes. And I'm just to a point in life where I'm like, we got to accept it and understand it. I think if we understand what's happening, these transitions, this lingo, the disrespect, what we look at as ignorance and disrespect, we can help to curve it if we understand it. So I think it's all about learning, and still for me to be in hip hop and to understand the new generation of hip hop and why they, why the songs are the way they are. Why did you make this song? What encouraged you to make this song? That's why it's important for you and I to do interviews and find out. We got to ask people like, what encouraged you to do that? Because if we don't and we stay out of touch and sit back and judge, then who are we but the older generation who didn't talk to us?
Now, today, females, not just females, but today, male rappers, they have a lot of ghostwriters. So once upon a time, ghostwriting was forbidden. It was very tucked in a cut.
Yeah.
It was actually an unwritten law to announce that you ghostwritten for someone.
Yeah.
Now it's straight up out there.
Yeah. As a ghostwriter myself, I am a ghostwriter. I've been a ghostwriter for a very long time on a lot of records. But it was just, we didn't talk about it. I've been in a lot of sessions with a lot of artists, and I wrote songs. But it's not something that you would just walk out and be like, yeah, I wrote that. You would really have to look me up, find out what name I used in BMI to actually track me down. But now it's just like, there is no shame in it. But that goes to show you, that these are not all genuine artists that are out here. So, you got real artists, and then you got created artists. It's it's a difference. It's lanes. And again, I'm big on genre. So now we have to actually create a new genre for the rappers who don't write their raps, and then the rappers who not really rapping. I think we just need to just extend genres and create it, because we got the old school, we got hip hop, we got the hip hop new school, old school, the bebop. We just gotta extend genres at this point. We can't deny them, but it is what it is.
Recently, a girl came out. She was all over TikTok, the whole social media thing. And she exposed Jennifer Lopez for not just writing and cross-referencing Jenny from the Block and a few other records. She actually got on there and sung it, and she kind of like exposed, that she was not only the ghostwriter, but the actual singer.
Wow.
Where is there some type of boundary?
In music and behind the scenes in the ghostwriting world, there are contracts. There are do's and don'ts. There are agreements that we sit down and go through. I'm on a writing team. So, to bring us in, what you're going to get, the maturity level, who you're dealing with. I think that it's just all about who you're working with at this point. When people call me in to write, I go and they know what they're going to get. Exactly, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to fill your personality out and write the song for you, but I'm not going to get on an interview or a record or anything, or especially social media, and talk about it. But, again, here we are, a different time and place where people want to be seen. They want to be heard. People feel like a lot of ghostwriters don't have anything of their own. They have nothing to call their own. They don't have the career. So, it's the typical, I got to be seen now. I got to let them know that that's me. So it's just a way of them trying to shine and show themselves.
Even if they sign a NDA?
If they sign an NDA, they can just get sued. I mean, honestly, that's what an NDA is, right? So it's to protect it. But a lot of them don't sign NDAs. Believe it or not, behind the scenes, when you're a ghostwriter, people bring you in to ghostwrite or whatever. It's all about the contract. It's all about what you sit down, what you agree to, what the terms and conditions are. And sometimes it's not always handled professionally behind the scenes. So with that being said, you might not have an NDA. You may have just been told, chill out, don't mention it, or higgle your money, and then that just kind of went over everybody's head because nobody thought you was going to talk, because it is code and ethics to the game. But we don't all follow those, right?
They probably talking because now they took the money, but that record probably scored more than what the money was worth.
Absolutely.
So a lot of disgruntlement going on.
Them contracts. A lot of people don't know how to read a contract and understand, it's a lot of comprehension level, what I like to say. We don't all kind of float on the same comprehension level. So if we don't understand something and, 20 years later, now we like that record doing numbers. I didn't know she made 10 million off of that. I only got, 50,000 or 5,000. Now you mad, but you didn't negotiate anything else. You should be getting credits. You should have did your homework.
I totally agree. 50 Cent once said on a radio show that when he made the Get Rich or Die Trying, that whole process, he was telling producer Sauce Money, he was telling Sauce Money, hey, listen, I'm gonna give you a point on this record. You can take this point or you can take this certain amount of money. And Sauce was like, I'll take the money. Right. I need the money. 2 years later, the album went, two times diamond?
Yeah, that was Shad Money.
Shad Money, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Shad Money.
Yeah.
Shad Money. It went 2 times diamond. And still, growing today.
But you don't know, as a producer, a writer, a background singer, a vocalist, whatever, you don't know what that record going to do. And depending on your situation, your circumstance, you got to choose. It's times where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take the point because I can sit this one out, or I need the money. We all live in times where, especially artists, come on, we all starving artists at the end of the day. We got bills to pay. So sometimes, he could have negotiated a point and a few dollars. But, sometimes we given that opportunity, that choice, and we got to make that choice. So, he probably kicking himself in the ass, but it is what it is,
It is what it is.
Right. So, that we live and we learn. You don't know what a record's going to do. You write a record, you put a song out, you formulate it, you in your heart, in your head, in your soul, you like, this the one. There's a lot of records I wrote, and then I'm like, I'm off to the next one. I'm listening to a new beat. That song ain't it no more, but it was everything while I was doing it.
Right.
I just put a record out, Mind Over Matter. That song was everything for the moment. It was everything. It meant everything to me. And when I finished it, I was like, dang, I need a hit. It was like, I need something else, and that's one of those things. So we don't know. You just never know. We can't be bitter. We got to learn not to be bitter.
You ever had a moment where you said, okay, I got to start playing the game. I got to start getting out here. I got to look this way. I got to talk this way, because this is what not only the record labels, but the radio and the audience want to see and hear.
Oh, goodness.
Did you go through that?
I went through that a lot. Okay, so I'm Muslim. So I know I said, I'm not going to talk about religion, but I am going to tell this experience. Being Muslim, I'm Jamila. I'm born Muslim, always Muslim, nothing else, right? So with being an artist, being a rapper, and my father's strict. He's not to be played with. He one of them old school nation crossover name Sunni. So everything is everything. You need to know it. Wake up in the morning. What's this? You be like, what? What's today's degrees? Cold. Why are you bothering me? So you being a Muslim girl, knowing I had to carry myself a certain way and saying, okay, how do I fit into the stereotype of being this female artist, Nina Capone at that. How do I be Nina Capone? What do I need to look like and be out there? So I caught myself out there. My parents was like, you know what, just go ahead, just don't come in here like that. So now I'm in the car grabbing key marks out before I go in the house, like, let me get right before I walk in here. They can't see me what I got on. The tattoos, I want to get tatted now and do all this. So I went through trying to be a part of society and look a certain way and carry myself a certain way, and be in the in crowd and be as fly as everybody else, and not, really even let people know, hey, I'm Muslim, I'm Jamila, and I translate Arabic, and I do. People don't know those things. They like, what, you do that? Like when they see me go to work, they like, where you work at? I work over at the Jewish Outreach. I translate the Hebrew and Arabic for the rabbi, and they like, what? That's what you do? Like, yeah, that's what I do for a living. But same time, I see y'all tonight at the club because I'll be there. But I think that's some of the things that I struggled with for a very long time. I wrote a book, Identity, that talks about that identity, telling you who you are. My book is about who I am, what I have to offer the world, because I struggled with it so much. I went through this moment of depression where I wanted to be here, but I wanted to get in my religion. I wanted to like really do the right thing and live right and do the right thing. And I'm like, I know the right thing, but society's not going to allow me to live that way. So I had to figure out who I was first, and then decide what I was going to do and how I was going to carry it. So sometimes you might see me, if I'm performing, I'm not going to disrespect my religion. I'm going to come out and be Nina Capone, but that's a costume. This is Jamila. This is Nina Capone, the real me. And, so I think we all struggle with that as, people who are in any type of faith. We struggle with our faith in society. But once you figure out who you are, you just can't deny it. You got to just be you.
And not to dive deep into religion.
Mm-hmm.
So how Christians, they got the gospel, they got praise and worship. Do y'all have your own like platform?
No.
Why?
Not really. Well, honestly, it's said to be haram that we do not do music. Traveling around the world, you learn different. You do, I have a lot of friends in Saudi Arabia right now, and, shout out to them, who like, yo, you need to come over here because it's now accepted. Hip hop, women in hip hop, Muslims in hip hop is now really accepted a lot in certain countries. So it's kind of cool now, but back in the day, no, absolutely not. It was forbidden. So I think, as we grow, as we get a better understanding of, how it's a lot of sisters in the city who are positive Muslima rappers. Shout out to Sister Kalina.
Yeah,
like I said,
her.
Nilam,
like
they doing their thing, they grinding. And I believe that, everybody you just got to be yourself. I think it's about finding who you are, and even in still, Allah sees me and he knows what I do. And I do truly believe that I have a message to put out there. So even when I felt like I wanted to pull back and just focus on religion, I had to do my music. I had to get back out here and do what I do because it's a gift. It's not something that I was just, I was given this gift. I have to use it. So, you have to realize who you are, what your gift is, and kind of do what you need to do, and then let Allah judge you from there.
So, touching on that, Ladybug to Nina Capone, how did that happen?
So, as you know, Diggable Planets. So we're going to get into it. Shout out to them. They know me. So they came out right around the time where I think I came off my first tour, and they were using the name Ladybug. Yeah. And, it was no problem for me. It was a child name for me. I was like, I'm a thug. I don't even know how I got this name. So it was nothing. I already had, the Nina Capone. It was Nina Cap 1 originally. That's what it was. It wasn't Nina Capone. It was Nina Cap 1. That's what it was. So I wanted to be Nina Cap 1 anyway, being in that whole hard rap thing that I did anyway. I was like, we're going to just go with Nina Cap 1. Y'all can have it. We're not going to fight over it. Like, where do I sign? I don't want it. Transition was simple. I did get to meet them and hang out with them. I love them. But, I went with Nina Cap 1. Somebody met me and was like, Nina Capone. And I was like, that sounds so much better. And we just you just rock with it, and that's where Nina Capone came from. I mean, it wasn't a whole thought out thing. It fit, and I've always had that boss type mentality. So the Capone started to stick, and that's what it was. It was like, I am Nina Capone, and I lived it.
So you go from one single rocking it for 10 years or so to take us through Nina Capone records.
Nina Capone records it was massive delivery. It was like, go hard, give them that female. It was more, I'm going to say, for men, because I felt like I hung around a lot of guys and they didn't want to hear the female rappers. So if you listen to the radio and something come on, they be like, oh, this chick about the rap, turn that off. Like, what? No. And it's like they felt, a lot of guys felt like we couldn't hang on a record. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the one that y'all want to listen to. So my entire career has been built around trashing everybody that I got on the track with. Like, I had to be the best on the track. I don't care who you was or how good you rap. I'm gonna be better than you. I'm gonna kill you on your record. Thank you for letting me be on it and everything. But get your game up, because right now I'm going in. I'm making sure every punchline, metaphor, every assembly, every way I write, it gotta come off big. And that's my writing style. And it was literally that, just being, competitive, making sure that I rap better than him, whoever he was. So I never really kind of worried about other females, but the male rapper, the dominant male, the Beanie Siegels, I wanted to be harder than him. I wanted to have more metaphors than him. I wanted to have more punchlines than him. I wanted to, I wanted that same type of delivery. So when you heard me, you be like, touching on the track Murder I just put out. Murder is no hook. It was like, let's just rap all the way through, back to back. Let's just get it in. Shout out to Montana Black for trying to hang with me. He did it.
Montana
I ain't killing, but I tried to murder him for sure. But it's just one of those tracks where you go in and you actually take lyrics and you tell your story in every single bar. Every punchline should lead them their face scrunched up. And that's just, that's what Nina Capone is. That's what Nina Capone does. No matter what song it is, whether I'm being nice on a song or being totally ignorant, I should make your face curl up in some kind of way.
What female artists in Philly have you worked with?
Not many. No, I'm lying. Hadonis the Amazon, definitely.
I remember her, yeah.
Shout out to H.
She was on a talk a reality show.
Yes.
Shout outs to her.
So we are really close. Even today, we're really close. Who else? I mean, I've shared stages with, the Miss Jades. I've been on the stage with everybody, Nina Ross. But I'm gonna say Hadonis is the one I did the most, songs with. I'm trying to think who else, maybe somebody else, but definitely Hadonis, I'm gonna say. Been in the studios, pretty much everybody. But everybody don't want to collab, unfortunately. And Philly, girls is girls. It's just like, a lot of females in Philly were clicked up. They were in some kind of group, some kind of clique. And I think, it wasn't always friendly. It was just like, I'm the female here, so that's just where I'm gonna be. I never had a clique. I just came in, I did run with HK for a little while. That's my squad. They my guys. I was, like, hey, I was solo. I was still a solo artist. So other than that, I just, me and Hadonis. Hadonis was another solo female rapper. And we just went around and did what we did. We rapped.
She was definitely underrated.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I used to have many talks with her back in the day.
Absolutely. So yeah.
And it's crazy because Philly need to have that movement like New York, like LA,
absolutely.
Like New Orleans, you know what I mean? And it's
just working together.
Because when you look at the pictures and everything, there's nobody working with nobody.
No.
Unless you're part of that clique.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That clique. See, I never really could get down with that. Even now, I have a whole thing where I don't want to be clicked up. If I have to be a part of your crew to associate with you or support you or do that, then I'm not with it, And I think that's the Philly culture. A lot of people say the crab in the barrel, but it's really just everybody clicked up.
It limits the money though, because you've been in click.
You ain't never lied. Right. You need to be able to get out, monetize, and get your bag, because the more people that you do songs with, the more collaborations you do, the more we share each other's platforms, because everything is a platform now, right? So the more we share each other's platform, the more monetization we can do. We can say, hey, I've been here, I did this, I work with this person and that person, and even myself, I can say I wasn't all for it at first, because I used to feel like, dang, I'm not going to beg them. I'm not going to beg to be on a song with them. So it's people that I reached out to like, Dad, we got to get on something together. And they be like, yeah. You'd be like, oh, it ain't that deep, but, that's the arrogant rapper in me. I'm past that. Now I'm gonna call you 10 times, or I'm gonna just force myself like I did y'all. Like, yo, I want to be on there. What's up? Interview me.
Kick the door down. Is what it
Because
is.
you have to be that way. You have to let people know that you're interested. You can't be. You gotta like be humble. And I think a lot of Philly people in general is just not humble. We just not those people. We're like, I'm gonna get my own bag. I do it myself. But we got to humble ourselves up. I talk to myself often and say, yo, be humble. Call that person, ask them to be on your show, ask them to, to be a part of what they doing. I think that's big for Philly people.
I agree. What happened to Philly? What happened to the Philly music scene? Mm-hmm. Once upon a time, we had an era where we had our own identification. Mm-hmm. You could distinguish New York, Jersey, absolutely, Florida, LA, from us. We had our saying, the ball, right, John, I mean? Mm-hmm. These are things that over the years we kind of like
them.
Yeah. So what happened to Philadelphia? Not just with the music, but just overall.
The culture of Philly. I'm gonna say, from my experience, just looking and traveling around myself, like I spend a lot of time in Atlanta for work. And being out there, a lot of people from Philly came to Atlanta, and having that culture shift, saying, hey, we out here, we're going to do this here, and then just kind of giving it away. I hate to say that. It's like we gave the culture away. We allow other people to have a part of Philly. We used to own, no, you ain't Philly. You can't come over here and do that. Now we just let anybody come in our city and be Philly.
The sound changed.
We give the sound away. We will give the sound. We literally give the sound away. We try to be like other people. We never tried that before. We never tried to be like down south. We never tried to be like Chicago, Memphis. Now I'm hearing people that's from Philly. When my daughters pull tracks for the station, I'm like, where they from? They're like, she from North Philly. No, she not. She sound like she from Memphis. You know what I mean? So like we now adopting other people's lingo and
right,
and culture, and we kind of carrying it different, and we just not. Philly's not that. Philly, we're the creators of the culture, and right now it's just we kind of giving it away by copycats. It's weird. It's weird to me. It's really weird.
So. I told who was it? Del P. I told Del P, like we went through the Peacoat era, mm-hmm, the rocking the Woolrich. Yep. That was our thing.
Yep.
We look like everybody.
Yeah.
West Coast, down south, New York. We look like
we
everybody.
We got a copycat phase right now, and it's just making it hard for us to be distinctive as we were. Because if you knew Philly, you'd be like, he from Philly. I could tell. Sneaks, jeans, the way he wears jeans, his swag, the way he talk, the way he look at you, the way he move, and it's like, he Philly. That's Philly. Now you like, I don't know. Like, just the way a person dress, the way they handle what they want to eat, everything. But now, that's gone. That's really gone. Like, that's no longer like the Peacoat era. Like, we don't even get dressed no more. You notice now, everybody just cool with a sweat. I'm gonna throw some sweats on and be out here, and that's
blacked
just it.
Blacked
out completely. It's like we used to have that culture, like the chicks with the jeans, with the the different stitching. I'm stayed up in King of Prussia, buying 7 jeans and this and that and the other, and it's like now we just don't. It's kind of anything. It's like a lazy culture. It's lazy now. It's like you ain't even gonna put nothing into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna do?
So, you making the records.
Hmm.
That's Nina Capone,
Yes.
not Nina Cat
Right.
One. Were you signed?
No, actually, because I knew the business very, very early, I own my own publishing. I started a publishing company probably in the early 90s. So I own my own label. My Mistress Entertainment is my label. And I signed myself. And I put everything out under my Mistress Entertainment. I've done events under my Mistress Entertainment. And I own my own publishing, my Mistress Publishing. So just having the knowledge so far back, I never really had to, even on tour, the tours, I signed all of my tour deals as a tour artist. So therefore, I got paid to tour, and I never had to really be under a label. Now I did a lot of collaborations with, like Sony, Warner, Def Jam, of course. So a lot of people thought I was signed to Def Jam, but I actually did marketing for Def Jam. So I was an influencer, per se, basically. So I worked directly with my job was dumb. It was to introduce Russell Simmons. So right before he came to the stage would be me. And I would say, I'm about to bring us to the stage, the godfather of hip hop, since, hip hop himself, Russell Simmons. And he come out and he was like, thank y'all for coming. And we leave. That was it, so that was my job. It put me in a lot of positions to be out there to, I cut records. We did a lot of mixtapes. Shout out to DJ Tay Rock in the South, running with the Super Friends in the South. So I had a lot of opportunities, but no deal. I did all of these things without a record deal. Record deal was never necessary. It's never necessary for anybody if you learn the business. If you know how to do your own paperwork, you know how to actually be organized and follow through, you don't need a record deal.
A lot of people that is getting signed today do not know the business.
Yes,
and
they don't.
How important and how crucial it is to actually learn the business before signing on that dotted line.
It's extremely, it's the most important, it's imperative that you know it. If you don't understand what you're supposed to get, what you're supposed to be doing, who's what, because technically when you sign that record deal, you're signing if you ever bought a house, a mortgage. It's a loan, and you have to, you start getting, a lot of people like want to get fancy cars. They want to, get they want a stylist with them all the time. They want you from hair to nails to makeup, and you really, that's all recoupable, meaning that's all money that you got to pay back. So it seemed like it's free. It seemed like you balling, but you're not balling. You're putting yourself in debt. So once you spend that money and you make a little money, it goes straight to them. You don't get nothing. Most artists that have contracts, deals, or whatever, they're broke. They broke because they owe their label everything. Because the label is going to pill, and then they're going to buy the most expensive thing. So if you think about it, I'm not going to, if I'm your buyer, I'm going to spend the highest amount so we can recoup back double. You see what I'm saying? So they don't make no money. They got to learn how the money works. They got to learn how the royalties works. They got to learn, what licensing agencies I need to sign up with in order to get paid. I said on another podcast, like, listen, you guys need to make sure that you know exactly what you need to be signed up with before you put this record out so you can get all your money. So 6 checks.
So recently, my man Wiz Gam was on, and he was telling us, and it's crazy because I felt dumb for a minute.
Shout out to Wiz Gam.
That the money could be utilized for you, for somebody else.
Absolutely.
I missed that whole situation being in the industry, years ago, and I could never understand that. Oh, it was Mister. Sorry, Mr. Man.
Okay.
From Philly's Most Wanted.
Okay.
And he really broke it down. How they took their money and gave it to Kim.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do because you're on a roster. You sign this deal, you're now on a roster, and they don't go with you because this was allotted to you. They go with you because this is a part of the budget, and now they're gonna go with what's popping. We're going to invest in who's popping, and they tell you, don't worry about it, just chill out because we're gonna put you on this. You're gonna be on a remix. You know what I mean? And they start to try to fit you in, but more or less dumping the money into that one mainstream, the one that's getting the most attention. So you just look at it like, you hold my money for me. You know, and if you know anything about mortgages, and I always refer to this, to a record deal as a mortgage, because escrow, that's the escrow account, you know, and I'm a victim of it. You know what I mean? Like, why do I got $9,000 in my escrows? Because, oh, some payments came back and we just put it in escrow and we going to use it for this. Y'all get to just use it for whatever y'all want. If I could have bought my house with cash, I would have, because it just made me mad. And that's how I feel, you know, about the music industry. I should be able to just put this out myself. I'd rather, you know, play it and do the work that I need to do, learn what I need to learn, and not, you know, have somebody oversee my career. Because again, they give your money to the next person on the roster because that person might be popping right now. Might not even be better than you, you know? So yeah, it's a dirty game. And if you don't know it, that's definitely going to happen to you.
Nina, did you ever have to twerk?
I still don't know how to twerk. I still don't know how to twerk. I told my husband I was going to twerk. I said, you know what, I'm going out and I'm a twerk. And he was like, you know what, I'll just watch. I just want to see it happen. No.
Before they had in Philly, it was called the Wally. Mm-hmm. And then it was the drop it low, but now they got the thing where it's twerking, making the butt clap.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to do that in order to get seen?
No. I never even showed my backside on, and I always joke about this. I post this all the time. Like, I still ain't do my butt shot yet. And I'm like, yo, I've never did that on social media, on stage, anywhere, you know. I just never felt the need to be seen in that light, you know. I felt like, oh, I'm cute enough, I'm sexy enough. If they don't like this, then it is what it is.
And on Instagram, you got the Instagram models. I just had a conversation with somebody a few weeks ago. When you go on Instagram, the women that's on there, they don't give the man no imagination of, hey, how do you look?
Right.
We see everything.
Right.
Everything. Is that a new run for females in general? Yeah,
I mean, well, it's I think it's more of a self-esteem type thing now, and it's hard for me to say it because I'm garbed. I'm a woman that's garbed or modestly dressed, and always have been. I've never been somebody that's just been out there, you know, showing my body off and this, that, and the other. And I was built, you know what I mean? I'm a little chunky now after my old age, but you know, it's like, you know, I was out there. I could, you know, turn some heads, but that wasn't something that I was, you know, saying I'm gonna put out there and be like this. I ran with chicks who was, you know, clean cut, mature. But I also see that even though men like to look at that, and I can't speak for men, but from the men that I know, that's not who they going to marry. That's not who they going to take home. That's not even who they going to spend no money on. The men that I dated in my time, they had bread, they had money, and they liked to take care of me because of the way that I carried myself. You know, I wasn't the chick that was going to be out there doing all these things, and they could trust that, you know. So a lot of these chicks, they got high hopes and big dreams, and you're pennies. You are pennies. You're worthless. So I just think that, you know, we lower our worth when we out there and put ourselves out there like that. Unfortunately, most women do now. It's not a pool of women who's covered up or even dressed modestly anymore. So now, I mean, unless she deaning, if she ain't on her dean, and you can see everything and it's free. So, I mean, what's it to struggle for? Why would you invest your money? And I think for men got to like really step back and think, if that's how you got her, that's what you bought. You know, don't expect nothing else from her. I believe it's a mentality thing with women. You know, again, when I talk about self-identity, that's a big thing. You got to know who you are. And sometimes we think we are our body. We think that, you know, this shape, this figure, you know what I mean? Like, this is who I am. This is what they go crazy over, not really allowing people to get to know who you are, you know, but you bad. I look like them bad as shit. So, you know,
like reality TV, I guess.
Well, reality TV is what, you know, created this need. It created the need to be seen. It created the need, because from what we know from the outside looking in, these people are making some money. It was an easy way to come up. right? It was a quick hustle. So if I can make money just being a fool, acting out, showing my body off, talking trash, smacking somebody in the face, whatever. So that excitement became sellable. You know what I mean? When you start to look at marketing, what sells? I own a marketing agency. My marketing agency, the goal is to sell. So when a company come in and say, this is my product, I have to sit and look at the product and say, how are we going to actually sell this product? And who are we going to sell it to? We got to look at who's the target market. And sometimes we got to create a target market, right? Because people may not know about that product. And when it came down to reality TV, people didn't know about that target. That target market didn't really exist, but we had to create it. And it was created by putting it in people's faces. And that's what we do. We do it with music. We do it with our podcasts. We do it with our TV shows.
Right.
Every single thing that we create, we have to put it in people's face and make them digest it. Our music, I've done that with my music over and over and over again. I make you have to, I need to hear Nina Capone right now because I'm in that mode. And it's the same with the reality TV. You want to see some ratchetness, some chaos, some arguing, some, and they give you these storylines. Think about the storylines that they put out there, people's life. And now they got streamers. These things wasn't around when we were young. So now we got streamers who are literally sitting. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm a computer junkie, but I don't understand sitting in front of the computer all day long, just talking to y'all. Like, that's insane to me. But they're making millions and millions of dollars off of it. And a lot of times I see a lot of young people come in my office and like, yeah, I want to be a streamer. And I'm like, okay, so you want to be an advertiser? And they're like, no, a streamer. I'm like, okay, but that's advertising. They're making money off of advertisement. So let me teach you. Let me tell you how this works. And really what it is sponsorships and advertisers and the commercials that come up on the ads that come up on the sites and things like that. This is how they monetize themselves. It's not necessarily just sitting there and saying, hey, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram is going to pay me, because 9 times out of 10, that's not who's paying them. They're getting money from advertising and data. So my profession, I'm going to another 108 things that I do, but I'm a data analyst, a data scientist, whatever you want to call it. But when I collect data, I can actually see the behaviors of people, what they're looking for, who they are, where they shop, why they shop there, why they do this, why they do that. And I sell that kind of information. That's what allows me to, build $1 million radio station, because I know how to house data. If I didn't know how to do that, I wouldn't be able to, have what I have right now. So we have to understand not only what they're giving us, but what we're getting. And then how can we get and monetize it the same exact way? Because a lot of times, we're not monetizing that. We as Black people, period, we don't monetize ourselves, and I hate to say it like that, but it's us, it's education.
Speaking of a target audience, right now today's election day.
Yes.
One of the running mates, Kamala Harris, she is pretty much targeting the audience of women to start speaking up for not just themselves, but for the abortions. What's your take on that?
Well, of course, I don't believe in abortions, but I'm going to say I do understand the rights. I think, different situations calls for different responses of anything. I'm not a big push of the agenda because of my faith. But, I think that if given a situation, that decision just got to be made. We got to take that into account. But I'm kind of on the opposite side of pushing that as an agenda. I just don't believe that, because I feel like it gives people the opportunity to just go do it. We shouldn't have that freedom to just keep messing up. You know what I mean? Well, I'm gonna mess up and then I'll just go here and get rid of it. Sometimes I think society now has kind of taken the accountability away, and it's like it's a solution for it real quick. You don't have to worry about it. I think now it's just a time that we really need to rethink all the freedoms. I'm big on freedom, but like, wow, it's getting a little outrageous. So now I think we need to just rethink everything that's happening, and then compartmentalize, put some rules and some morals back into society, because I feel like morals were taken out. And just kind of like a huge bag. Santa Claus dragged them out. They're gone. There's no morals. There's no thoughts put into these things. And if we're going to have a position on something as big as abortion, then we should say, okay, yes, it's going to be for these reasons, not across the board, just simple, oh, if you get pregnant, you should be able to just kill your baby, and I think that's, we just got to, teach people to be more accountable for their actions, and just kind of put some, discretion on it. That's missing.
I think it's more like, people gonna go away somewhere and just like they get BBLs, go out of the
Absolutely.
country.
Absolutely.
I think it's also where touching base on, it starts at home. Like, you know what I mean? Parents don't know what's going on with their kids. And the parents might not be raising the kids.
Absolutely.
And so, for me, I think it's like it's a balance of
it is. It's some decisions, some morals, some accountability. Okay, I got myself in a situation. What can I do? Here's your options. And I think it's okay to have it as an option, but I just think that a lot of times we abuse things when they're available.
Yeah, the abusing is different. I get it. But then you have, it's a lot of rapes going on now.
A lot.
Running rampant.
A lot.
Of sexual assault going on. Starting with the youth to the adults.
Yeah. And in that case, that's why I think it's important that it exists, but not just for everything. It's like we got to use discretion. I just feel like discretion has been taken away. Not necessarily take everything away, but just use discretion with it, because I sometimes we stand up and we fight for things, but we don't include the discretion that we're, but this should be used at a discretion instead of, we have to fight for this, because yes, we as women, I'm a mother of 2 daughters, and not a grandmom yet. And my daughter almost 30. So we're going to talk about that later. But, but as we sit and we think about what the fight is, like Kamala, I think she's an amazing woman, but to take a stance and we talk about targeting. We're targeting Black women. And I'm not going to get wholeheartedly into why abortion was created. But if we do our homework and we look to why abortion was created, it was to eliminate us. So let's get into it and let's say, do we really want to take a stand on still eliminating us? Because that's what it does. It hits our community first. They put these centers in the middle of the hood where we at. We can get to them. My daughters can get to them, easy, with no discretion, because right now I just know I need to do this, right? So, have no time to take accountability and think about it. You're just running to do the first best thing for you right now. So you didn't have no time to think about it. There's little to no counseling, and I just think that we just got to put things in place, but put them in place better, where, some loopholes where we can jump through and maybe educate the young women and just make things make sense, because I'm totally against just getting rid of our people. And I feel like we are under attack for extermination, and it's horrible.
Project 2025.
Absolutely.
What's your stand on that? A lot of people don't even know what it is.
They don't. Well, and I feel like people don't read enough. We don't educate ourselves enough. We don't look far enough back into history to find out what these things are. Because Project 2025 is not new. It's been around for a very long time. It's been built up and written, and it's a remix of something that already exists, right? Thanks. So if we go back if we allow this to happen, then we might as well just lay down and just, put the shackles on myself, because I know how to do it, right? At what point do we take a stand and say, hey, we're not going for this. This is not happening to us again, because it's more of us than it is of them. At what point do we stand up and fight? We got to fight. We got to stand up and say no more.
Dr. Umar Johnson, he's a Pan-African, and he advocates that strong. He is against dating outside of the Black race. What is your take on that?
Woo, okay, I agree. Although, I'm light-skinned for a reason. So I am of one generation of, a mixed woman. Yeah, my grandmother was a mixed breed. My grandfather was a mixed breed. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I can't. I have to stay. I am a strong advocate of my black man. Like, to me, everything. I don't care. Yeah, he do this, he do that. I love that. I was raised by a black man. I just don't see anything else. I can't bring myself to see any other type of man.
Now,
Because
is that
that's
just
the
preference?
king. It is just, yes, preference, but also the acknowledgement of who and what a black man is. Like I said, I was taught, I just had so much rich education on, black men, who they are, what they've done, how they were degraded, and how they were knocked down and taken out of our homes. I just think it's time to put the black man back in place. Allow him, like, I'm submissive. My husband would shake his head if he seen me say that 10 times. He'd be like, no, 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 no. But he's 6'3" and can probably beat me and everybody around me. But it is what it is. I think that they balance our personalities. That strong black woman. This is how I'm submissive. I wasn't submissive to every man that I met, but when I met him, that was my balance. He can deal with me. He can deal with me when I'm here. He can deal with me when I'm here. And I think that's important, because we're like actually made for each other. And I think sometimes that's, a lot of men now, I hate to say it, but unfortunately they're weak. So they look for a weaker woman. They look to be, they don't have that responsibility to say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go out here. You got expectations. Yeah, I want to see you, pay all the bills while I take care of the home. And I think that right now in our culture, period, that people lost the meaning of what the household is, the family unit, the community. We don't have that no more. These girls out here talking about, I want to be taken care of and do all this. When they see me Muslim and see me with my husband, they were like, girl, I seen you out in King of Prussia walking through with your husband and he ain't even look no other way. No, he's not supposed to, because I do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? So, he lowered his gaze. If a woman is standing in front of him, he lowered his gaze. He's not looking into her eyes or looking at her body until I tap you and be like, look at her. She look crazy. Why her butt like that? No, but which I do often. But, it's just like, we just don't have those things no more. And men should be celebrated. Our black men created everything, like really everything, and to know that and to see where they are today is just, it breaks my heart. And I just think that we need to, as women, as a culture, just to work on building them back up, and praising them a little bit.
I agree. Speaking of leadership, of the man taking leadership in a household, recently Michelle Obama was at a rally and she pretty much advocated for women to not allow the man to stand in front of them on voting. How is that important for the man to guide the woman in the household?
I think that it should be a conversation. I think it should be a conversation. Being, again, from a Muslim household, I just feel like that, you and your partner should be on the same page. Not necessarily with the same views 100%, because you are going to agree to disagree, but to at least have that conversation. Because whatever you choose impacts your household. Not just me, not just you, but I think that, again, we just lost morals and we're no longer one. So the units don't operate like they should. And I think that, to say that, yes, I understood what she was saying, but the delivery may have came across incorrectly, because yes, you should have your own opinion on that. But I think it's more of the agenda that's being pushed and why she said it the way that she said it, because honestly, yeah, we do have the right to go vote and make our own decision on who we want to vote for. But in a household, that should be discussed. Like, my father lives in part of my house, so that's something we had a conversation about. And he hate everybody. I don't like nobody. He one of them old head, he just, I don't like none of them, and I'm like, Dad, just hurry up. I'm gonna go ahead and mail this in for you. You're stressing me out. But I mean, just even with that, my husband and I, we talk about, and we like two different people. We have two different stands, but we had to really sit and talk about what was best for us right now. What would be best for us? Who's the better of the two evils? Unfortunately, we have to pick one, and who is that going to be? So it was a conversation that we had to have. So we're on the same page. I just think that we don't have to run out and be like, I'm just going through, I'm a strong Black woman, but I don't feel like I gotta, knock him out my way. Sometimes I feel like it, but we got to sit down and have that conversation and really touch on things, and then respectfully let him know, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about to do. That communication, it's real simple. Just key. Open communication. So you know what I'm doing. My husband, I drive him crazy. I own 3 businesses and I'm always all over the place. I'm always doing something. And I know he's nuts. He like, oh my God, what are you doing now? I just communicate with him. Babe, I'm here. I'm going to be doing this. This is what I'm working on. He like, all right, I'm just going to get out the way. Go ahead, but I think communication is key, and we don't have to be the woman who got to take control. I think sometimes that higher influences can kind of blur that line, well, Michelle Obama said it, so she doing what she want to do. And that's not necessarily it, because I'm sure her and Barack sat down and had a conversation before. If you notice, they didn't even come out and speak at first. So that's during the time I feel like they were having a sit down and figuring out what they wanted to do during this election. So
right now, as we speak on this interview, people are going to the voting polls. Mm-hmm. They're turning in their votes for whoever they vote for.
Right.
How important is this election?
Mm-hmm. This election is probably one of the most important elections of our time, because it's so much. It's too. Our decision is not. We don't have a lot to choose from when it comes down to morals, to clarity. We don't. I mean, me personally, I don't fully understand either party's mission to say, I think that they put things out there. Honestly, I think they got a lot in common. I'm like, let me just vote for both of them, put them both in office and see what happens, stir the pot. But I feel like now it's imperative, with the 2025, this is going to hit, and a lot is already changing in the world of technology and data. In my world, I can't sleep. So, I gotta say to the people, vote, make a decision, read, educate yourself. If you're in there just kind of circling things, blind, you're going to regret it. Right now we just live in a different world, and 2025 is going to change. Again, like I said, I'm in tech. And when I tell you everything's going to change, your money's going to change, the way you spend your money, the way that you earn your money, everything is going to change by next year. And I used to say this and be like, in 10 years, things going to be different. 5 years, things going to be different. Tomorrow, things going to be different. And I say that sternly, and I mean it that way, because this is our reality. This is the reality that we live in. I use a lot of AI. A lot of it. I write algorithms. I write code. I do this, so being in that field, I see these things firsthand. I know the data. I'm looking at the data. I work for the census. I understand how it works. I understand where the money come from. A lot of people in Philadelphia, they say, oh, you work for the census, so you knocking on doors. I'm like, oh, no, I work for the real census. We operate all year long. Okay, I'm always collecting data. I ran Nancy's Hamsies, the 2 projects where we survey the hospitals, HIPAA. We make sure that all the information that goes in, and what I seen, there's going to be some trouble. We need to get better. We need to open our doors. We need to open those envelopes, take those calls when the census call, because guess what? They don't know about us, and this is why our community don't have money. Okay, so people don't know why we got to do the census anyway. They just want to put us on record. No, they want to find out if y'all community need money. If you see a playground being built up in the Northeast or one of the better neighborhoods, it's because you didn't participate in telling them that you need the money. Simple and plain as that. So, my agenda for 2025 is to get out and educate people on money, on finances, building a relationship with money, a better relationship with money, understanding a mortgage, understanding how loans work, stop starting businesses without understanding how businesses work. Putting ourselves in more debt than necessary. Everybody want to start a business and get a loan tomorrow. The dumbest thing I ever heard, dumbest thing we can ever do to ourselves, because all that does is puts us in more debt, puts us behind the chart even more, making it much easier for this economy, this crypto to kick in, and we be the people who just get taken care of. And I know I just said a lot. I like to blow mine. My bad.
Why did Michael Jackson beat Tupac ass?
I heard that, and listen, I was tripping off of that out of respect. You don't mess with Mike's niece. Simple as that. I'm so glad we could just jump right into that. That was perfect. Yeah, perfect timing with that one. Recently, somebody had to do it.
Recently, Tommy Too Smooth, comedian Tommy Too Smooth, he was a guest on, I think it was our second episode for Untold. And, he went viral.
Yes, he did. I watched it.
He went viral. He was featured on a segment topic on the Joe Budden show. And now he's left it open for debate.
Oh, my goodness.
Recently, the Outlaw member Idi Amin took on to it, to stand up for Tupac. And then Whack 100 was just in Clubhouse.
Oh, goodness.
And he said a lot of bad things about Tupac. And one of the things was he said that Tupac got his butt whooped by Michael Jackson. And he believed it.
Yeah, I heard. But let's think about it. Okay, so now that we're there, because I had this at home. This was a whole round table at the house. And the one thing is, like, I grew up with brothers. I only got brothers, right? So I could fight. Mike only got brothers. And his dad was like
Joe Jackson,
right? So Mike could probably fight. He probably was like, go from that little voice. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I can see it too. I mean, I can see it happening. Like, so I don't know. I believe it too. I believe that if Mike had to, fluff up, he just fluffed up, did what he had to do. I was like, man, why you make me do that, Pop? Get up. Put your shoes on. I mean, it is what it is. I can see it happening. I mean, he had a lot of brothers.
He had a lot of brothers.
And Joe Jackson didn't play no games whatsoever.
So he can take a hit.
Yeah. And you think he ain't had, come on, Mike probably wanted to get that off so bad. He was like, who else better to do this to than Pac?
People are saying that it never happened. Why would it not be in the tabloids at that time?
It was private. It was private. Didn't it happen at Quincy Jones' house? It was like at Quincy Jones' house or something?
Well, the story that surfaced around that they were at like a dinner and they was coming out and Tupac was, pretty much talking reckless to Kadada.
Yeah.
We're not going to say Khadijah, people. He was talking reckless to Kadada and Michael Jackson took offense to that. And he pretty much stood up for it. One thing led to another.
However, this is what was heard, okay? That's on our platform. This is what was heard. But years before this, it was already surfacing. It had surfaced, but it never hit.
True.
It's probably true.
I'm going to go with it. I like it. I mean, Michael Jackson was like the ultimate pop star. Like, he was bad. So, like, why not? I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to him. Personally, I think, I might do an animation behind it. Because, like, why not? Like,
listen, somebody want to be
he deserve it. He deserve it. And put his music in it. Oh, my God. I'm about to go viral, too.
Hey, let's go there. Let's get it.
Listen, I think that Mike, he earned it.
He earned it.
He earned it. If not, they can see each other wherever they are right now and run up on him. But it is what it is. He earned it. I believe it. I don't believe Mike was a chump. I think he liked his softer side. That was where he found himself comfortable. But I think he was hard. I think Mike was like low key. I mean, look how he went. He was an aggressive businessman. Right. Think about it. I mean, he set Eminem down. Stop playing with me. You know what I mean? Like the Beatles, Sony all the way down. Like, I mean, Mike was not to be played with. He just, he talks off, And shrewd. And I love that. So,
Listen. Quincy prepared him for that. Rest in peace, Quincy Jones.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, yes.
Recently, we lost hip-hop's own Clark Kent.
Yes.
It was a sad day for hip hop.
I'm sure. Yeah, it really was.
He not only was instrumental to the rap game, but he played a real vital role for connecting Biggie, connecting Jay-Z, connecting anybody. Foxy Brown. That's Foxy Brown's cousin.
Her cousin. Yeah.
How much of a loss did it impact, the artists that's in the game?
Probably a lot. I mean, just think about artist development is gone. This is somebody who kind of created that, put that into hip hop, when it came down to it. So, those who rely on, because even as older artists, we still got those people that we go back to. And then when they, die, a lot of times we fall off because we don't have that person that keeps us motivated anymore. Because nowadays, nobody wants to see you do better. They want to keep you right where you are, doing what you're doing, or push you down to get you out of their way so they can be better than you. Because right now we just live in a society where we got to climb over the next man, not really work together. So it's kind of like, we I don't know, just lately we've been losing all the good people. Like if you think about it, like everybody that made an impact on the industry, was either going to jail because they was at Diddy house, or they or they dying. Like you're like they get in line, getting like, well, which one do you want? And like, what, just take me out because I ain't going to Diddy's. But it's one or the other, and it's sad because it's like so many people had such a huge impact on music, the industry. But I always say right now, music is changing, just like radio's changing, which is why I wanted to dive right in on the digital side of radio, because I see where it's going. I couldn't predict the future, but I got lucky. I came close to where we are, and to see that the labels and everything is dissolving and merging, and all the mergers that's going on, mergers, acquisitions all day long. And with that being said, we look at and say, okay, where are the artists? What are they going to do? Especially the ones who don't know what to do. How are they going to make their money? How are they going to continue to get paid? Who's going to develop them? So I just think right now is an open lane for people like you and I to get out here and become the artist developers, the radio stations, the record labels, the artist managers. It's just so many opportunities out here for those who know to lead those who don't. So, I mean, right now, it's like you got to play how you going to play. Whatever you want to do right now, the playing field is open. So you got to go for it, and you got to believe that you can.
Nina Capone, is a pleasure. I pray that this is not the only time you come up on the show.
Absolutely. Y'all think y'all can keep me away? I was just wondering. I found y'all now. Like, I'm coming back.
I don't want you coming after me. I'm cool.
No, I definitely appreciate this.
But real quick, before we leave, we'll wrap up. Tell us about your next movements.
Next movement is In the Streets Radio. Right now, I just need everybody to tune in the Streets Radio. It's a platform that I'm building to not only play music. It's not just a streaming platform. We put podcasts, TV shows, new movies, anything urban music related we want on there. We want to kind of get people to work together. So I created a platform where we can unite, where we can get heard, where we can have a voice. I solely own the platform. I'm not controlled by any third-party entity whatsoever. We've partnered with some of the largest businesses in the world. You know, Apple Music is with us. We're integrated with their platform, so we can actually sell artist albums right from our platform. Just so many integrations. Google, Alexa, so Amazon's behind us. We're looking to get into Tesla soon. So we're getting in a car play if we're not already there. I don't know, I gotta look at my watch, but you know, so we're moving in a really good direction, and we just want people to reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. I can't see everybody, so if I don't got you in rotation as an artist, don't feel like I'm just ignoring you. Just reach out. My team is dope. They putting everybody on, getting them in place. And we just want to see everybody grow. But from a Philly perspective, do it together. The world is flat and we can go anywhere we want. So let's do it.